4 o'clock, we have, first is the public hearing for fire hall / museum marketplace projects. How do we start that? Comments?
That's what the wide open deal, right?
Public comment? Phone one? They got a public comment on it?
Other than the
Letter?
Yeah.
Letter.
We'll get started.
I got one letter and one text message.
Right. My name is Jill Ferrari. I am managing partner of Renovar Development. We just want to say that we're here to answer any questions on the plan or the project. And are happy to discuss any issues. Thank you.
Yeah, you. When is the grocery store open?
Right now, we are planning to close this spring and we have a 2-year. Are you, your phone, only, thank you, 2-year construction period.
I really want to know.
Right, exactly. We'll move the tent from Dennis over there. You can use that now.
The only thing we got is a email, a letter from
Jardins, in support of.
in support.
Yep. And then I got a text message from Tom Deloski. He was gonna be here, but he's got the kids today, so. And he is 100% behind Renovar and of course, and then he says also, you know, he's very confident that Halls can pull off the work too, so. That was just his email. You know, Tom, that's about all you get.
And one of the main points in that conversation right there is he had the kids, so if we had daycare, he would have been able to be here.
Good point.
If he'd have brought him, they'd probably try to take over the meeting, so.
And as Rod puts in his letter here in support, he states that there's been interest in this building, the fire hall building before. And nothing went through with it. And honestly, I think he says these 2 developments will transform downtown Munising for the maximum benefit of local residents and business owners while routing and accommodating additional tourist traffic along the M28 corridor. So it's not just a small part of us getting the benefit of it. And there's a lot more to it than that, is what it reads from there.
I got a question. Number 9 in this page I've got here, it says governing law, submission to jurisdiction and consent to suit. And in here, they talk about it has to be interpreted accordance to the laws of the state of Florida. Are they different than the state of Michigan?
Yeah.
What document are you referring to, sir?
I've had so many, I don't know which one I'm talking about.
That's mine.
Yeah,
This was the master engagement agreement.
That's not ours.
That's
That might be some other.
This was, yeah, you went too far.
is that the
Wait a minute,
case?
that
Is it-
looks all right.
That's not
That's-
our
that's not
document.
Oh, okay.
This one.
Another
is
project.
Here and on. That was just my whole packet.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like, man,
I'd like to go to Florida.
it's like, I read that, I read the whole thing, I didn't see that there.
Yeah.
Well, I just read that.
Yeah. You just asked for the one page, so give you that page. Wait, no, that's not mine. But I would write that.
I have nothing.
So,
No. Oh, we have to. Second call for comment? Good call. Okay. suffices the public hearing portion. We'll go on to our board meeting.
Excuse me, sir?
Yep.
I think we just asked that you officially close the public hearing.
Okay, yes, we can close the public hearing at 4:06.
Thank you.
Good. And at 4:06, we'll call order our committee meeting. Roll call.
Commissioner Caprosa. Here. Commissioner Livermore.
There.
Commissioner Middleton.
Here.
Commissioner Rondo.
Here.
Commissioner Bieber.
Here. Pledge allegiance. Start.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brief public comment. Going once. Comment going twice. Comment third time. Going on to the agenda. Everybody okay with the agenda?
Motion to approve agenda. Consensus? Yes, yeah,
Yes.
it's coming your home.
Actually, I think there's because if we wanted to change the agenda, we'd have to have,
Right.
we'd have to vote on, so it would be a vote on this one. Would that be right?
If you want to change it,
Yeah.
you can have consent.
Then on that. Number 6 minutes.
Template today, if you want to look them over for next week.
Yeah. Number 7, Julia with QPAD, discuss the 5-year recreation plan.
You want to go into 2?
Yeah, is it possible? Hi, everyone.
Maybe I'll get splitters.
Is this gonna, this is the long version, right?
Oh, yeah.
Why did we put this on next week?
You got off of you got easy on the public hearing,
I
so.
won't be here.
Yeah.
You can cut her short.
You guys got the Spark Notes version last time, so we can skip the first like 7 chapters.
Okay.
Unless you have something to call
I
out.
was say, I went back to Red 8. That's what I went back to. Well, because that's what we talked about. That's-
Headed projections.
Yeah.
Look that over.
And did we figure out, oh, we're gonna do this in a whole?
We're gonna do it all,
Yeah.
so that wasn't just, so Mickey wasn't on his own.
This might, oh.
So you can cover up the left side too if you want.
Okay, if I cover up everybody again?
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Still recording us, but so I have to look at myself.
All right, so,
What page are you starting on?
yeah, you all should have a copy in front of you.
52.
I would like to jump right into chapter 8, but does anyone have any comments on the first 7 chapters that you would like to point out? You don't, of course.
We had a couple
Anybody
of
else?
tweaks last time,
Mhm.
so that was.
Yeah, I haven't made too many changes. There were a couple spelling errors and I did, I guess I'll jump back a hair. So here there was a request to kind of call out what the 25-year-old and unders
Yeah,
kind of specifically pointed to for their recreational activities and value. And so those were listed here. So we have hunting, going to the fair, fishing, motorized trail riding, biking, downhill skiing, cross-country skiing, and snowshoeing, and then camping. And most of them mentioned hunting and fishing, and then having open space, family time, natural beauty as their main values.
I was, what was it, I was talking to somebody and I was like, do we have a disc golf in town? I heard, like, was that ever something that was ever mentioned about, like, the college kids all do that? Up in Marquette and different big cities have like disc golf that's like,
Yeah.
but I don't think we have anything in an open area. I didn't know if that was something we were even able to do.
Yeah, I know in some of the other communities, they have a disc golf club.
Mhm.
That has usually been the driving force behind that. So,
Yeah,
like this
okay.
kid Nagani, they actually found the funding for it and built theirs and just had an agreement with the
Oh,
city.
okay.
Nice about that, that it doesn't have to be a field.
Oh, it's trees,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
People too.
Cause I just know some people who have a property that they play it on, and I just didn't know when trying to
Yeah.
attract something to do outdoors that wasn't, that would be something different, but I didn't see it mentioned
No,
as
it
a
wasn't
sports
really
to play.
mentioned, and it's probably because it's not really an option here, so people aren't doing it that much. Something to think about.
No, don't.
Planted the moment, like, more like a biathlon, then.
So I think what we hopefully can focus on tonight are what the 3 proposed goals were and then proposed lists of projects. And there's a lot of room for flexibility here, but, basically, this is a 5-year recreation plan, and that's the way the DNR looks at it, but you're not expected to complete these projects within 5 years. This would be a major endeavor. The reason you want them on the list is if the opportunity does come up within that window, you're able to apply for it and point to your plan and say, hey, it's on here. So,
The grants come available, we can go for them.
yeah, or if you have that disc golf group that materializes and says, hey, can we put in this disc golf course? You can say, oh yeah, it's on our plan, we'll apply for some funding. But and this is unfamiliar for me too, we're starting kind of from ground zero here because we don't necessarily own any county properties that are designated as recreation spaces. There are projects in the past where the DNR has leased land to communities in order for them to apply for funding to create enhancements. So for example, I'm working in Sands Township right now, where they have a lease with the DNR for the little parking lot warming hut area at Blueberry Ridge. So they applied for grant funding for that and were able to build the warming hut there. So that's one example.
And I know the Forest Service would also.
So I'm not familiar with it, but if you are, that's great, because I think that could be a major opportunity.
They just, Entree Township just gave back their lease for the old ball field. It was just, nobody would use it, and they couldn't, the last 10 years, they couldn't get anybody in there to do anything with it. So instead of have to maintain it all the time, they just let it go back to the Forest Service.
Yeah, yeah. But that means the Forest Service might be open to.
Oh, they would.
something else.
There's, yeah, that possibility is always open, any Forest Service land for public use.
Yeah, yeah. So I know that Rock River Township maintains or helps to run Hiawatha Slopes, which the community's been interested in improving that, for quite a while, I think. So that's.
Ski Hill?
Yeah.
What's the property around that?
Federal.
Is it? Federal would,
It's Hiawatha National Forest.
Yeah. they don't, or not?
So that was actually listed as one of the projects on here. So the best, I can walk through here project by project and you guys can provide comments, tell me what to X out and what to add, and is that the best method?
I think so.
Okay. Since this is a discussion meeting.
Anybody talking at any time.
All right, so the first one here is motorized and non-motorized trails. So develop clear county maps for trails for both motorized and non-motorized trail users. Provide online access to these and make improvements to existing trails and roads, providing access to these places to prevent any damage from occurring. So in the feedback that we received, and we received this in a lot of places, it's unclear as to what trails are designated for what uses. And I know Invest UP has recently received a grant to actually look into this in the central UP, so they're starting to play with the options of potentially putting together some sort of map database that everyone can access and understand which trails are for what users. But that might be something that somebody within the county would want to be.
Can they do something with designated e-bikes? where the levels of e-bikes?
So specific to Michigan, I'm not the one to answer that question. My coworker might know a little bit more about that. In Oregon, we were actually trying to put together some sort of legislation that specified how fast you could go, where you could go, and.
Cause there's different classes from 1 to 4, and I know Colorado's done heavily on that.
Yeah.
But I think just by going around Marquette and being at the ferry, the amount of e-bikes coming through town are unbelievable. They're not allowed on Grand Island, so we turn a lot of people away, but everywhere else, they're starting to look at that too now, but it's, what are they gonna allow? You know, just class 1s, class 2s, 3, 4, what are they gonna do?
And I think, but don't quote me, the city of Marquette has a speed limit for the Iron Ore Heritage Trail for e-bikes. And
Right, so they've already addressed it.
Yeah, I'd say over half the bikes I see on that section are e-bikes now.
Mhm. They're the top, it's the next thing going out there, and you're gonna see it if we don't have no,
I see a lot of them in town too,
oh yeah,
with a big question mark on them because,
they don't know.
well, and some of them do know them.
Yeah,
They're on the sidewalk instead of on the road.
Right.
They're motorized vehicles.
Mhm.
yeah.
It depends if you talk to the Department of Interior or the Department of Agriculture. They got two different.
In Alger County, they're motorized vehicles.
Yeah, at that point, we're talking more about the MCL opinion.
If they're turned on or if they're not turned on.
What? We could go all day on this.
Short.
That's why our officer, my bike was up.
Pretty impressive, you were pedaling 30 miles an hour on the flat.
So then this next one, just looking at all the different coalitions and groups that you already have within the county that could be used as resources potentially. Maybe for applying for grants or helping manage projects or just partnering on different potential projects. And making sure that that's a priority for the county to work with those organizations. The next one, just supporting existing and future natural resource restoration efforts, so just supporting some of those, the same organizations to treat invasive species, stabilize shorelines. Eagle actually has a grant they recently announced for completing projects similar to that along Great Lakes shoreline. All this is the next question. But these all fall under this goal of keep it peaceful. So a lot of the input that you received was people expressing the fact that there's just too many people coming here and using the sites that you have. So different methods, yeah, to keep it peaceful. So goal number 2, more for the youth to do, promoting, updating and enhancing existing kid-friendly rec amenities. Playground updates, pretty much on every rec plan in the UP. None of our playgrounds for the most part meet any safety standards.
This one does.
Your new one, yes. But yes, the Lucky Munising has a new one now. Improving and adding water access. So this ranges from swimming access to like a pool or a splash pad. There were quite a few pool requests actually. And then also fishing access. So stocking fish, providing docks and piers for people to get to the water.
I guess it's hard to think of having a pool when we have our winter.
We've got that big one out there with the fresh water in it.
Play hockey on
And we
it.
have all the water inland lakes. I personally could see a splash pad being useful.
What's a spot?
It's a lot of water fountains and spray fountains that, kids can run through and play on. That would
Especially
be,
for like toddlers and stuff. So
instead of a pool where they could drown, you have to have a lifeguard. You have to empty it, do all the stuff. It's just water that runs through it. This would just be water that they play in that's above the ground and whatever. And I think it's just easily entertained for parents just to sit on a picnic table and eat while their kids play in the water.
That's a good, so the city of Escanaba recently got a grant to convert their pool into a splash pad, with one of the main arguments being the lack of being able to find the lifeguards,
Yeah,
so.
as much as we have a lot of winter around here, it would be kind of nice for,
Are you talking indoor splash pad?
no, outdoor. It would be used in the summer. You could keep it open from, the time the Pitcher Rock boats are open.
Oh, there you go. Splash pad.
I know it
There's your
doesn't
outdoor
seem-
ice rink for the winter.
But,
Yeah.
yeah,
Before you turn the water off.
Hard for me to think that we're having here.
A water park.
Yeah.
I know, but you also have to think, what 2 and 3 and 4-year-olds go in that water and freeze, because they just can't tell how cold they are, and you don't really want to go into a big popular beach, have to keep all the safety. I think it would be great for parents of small children to have something like that. Hey, we have figured out that there are a lot of things our parents did we are not allowed to do. So I'm just throwing out there that, yeah, pool, not so much, I think, but I think we could definitely go for some splash pad.
Okay. Provide camping for local residents. I guess that's getting competitive out here. But having more rustic camping options too was a request, I think, so.
We can't go camping because they're always full.
You said rustic camping. Rustic camping on the Forest Service, you can rustic camp anywhere on Forest Service land. Just can't have fires, and it has to be rustic camping.
And have to be how far away from water.
100 feet from water.
There's problems, they all wanna camp on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was out there, I was out on 200, just, I was out on 200.
I mean, anybody wanna throw a
There's at least
tent in
3
my
different
backyard, you're
campsites
good,
on
I
the
got
beach.
some woods.
You're not supposed to be there.
Give me $20, you can camp in my backyard.
I think, I don't know what rustic camp, because the people asking about rustic camp, apparently
No,
they
hook
just
up.
don't know the law. That you can rustic camp, but I think they're more looking for a campground that has a
Degree of
Without the
amenities. So you have a bathroom and a fire pit.
fire pit, yeah, that ain't rustic, that's.
I mean, the fire pit's a little rustic, cause, I mean, at least they're keeping it safe from spreading if it's in a pit. But the bathroom part is very rustic,
In the
like.
summer, yeah, that ought also be rustic.
Plumbing?
But then again, we run into those that, are just going into the foresting, those that are going into the forest and they chop down a tree and they make a little area that's rustic, yes, but you can't leave it different from what you came from. So I think that that's one of the things we have to explain to people is when you go in and you leave, it has to stay the same to be legal and rustic.
Yeah, there's a lot of different definitions of rustic camping.
Maybe we should push a, weekend, like we have the municipal boats that are free for the Ubers. Maybe we can push campgrounds to give certain weekends for them to, locals come and camp that weekend.
Most campgrounds around here are Forest Service owned or state owned.
Yeah, Forest Service or DNR.
Yeah, so you're not gonna get them to. Sorry.
They're not changing their rates for anybody.
I know.
The city does for city residents.
There's a discount for city residents.
That's how the tourist park started.
Right,
And we donated that land with the stipulation that doesn't help the rest of the county, but and personally, I don't want to camp at the tourist park, so with 300 of my closest friends sitting next to me.
Okay, next one, building an outdoor ice rink somewhere.
there's one in Cherry.
We had one years ago.
Cherry has one.
Mhm.
It's really nice.
Where the indoor one is now.
I don't know where we're doing it, but
Yeah, we're kind of tight on.
Well, they got an indoor one.
yeah,
Yeah,
so.
They tried to one down at the house station.
But yeah.
Actually, that didn't work very well.
it doesn't, you can't tote on the lake.
I think that's a liability.
We used to,
I'll say they have, you go over to the zoo, they have the tournaments on the lake.
that's sitting this, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a big insurance.
Second biggest one in the country. Right, yeah,
Yes.
it's huge, yeah.
Okay, next we have, Hiawatha Slopes, so some of those updates there potentially partnering with the Forest Service. Indoor all season facilities, Nagani recently constructed the school system there, an indoor facility. For tennis and baseball, these are major investments,
It's a big building to.
yeah. And then there's the programming and the staffing that comes with that, so that's a mega endeavor. Increased trail access for goal number 3, providing safe off-road trail options for motorized and non-motorized trail users of all ages. So creating potentially a multi-use community trail link. So a link that would maybe be an extension of the Iron Ore Heritage Trail. The Iron Ore Heritage Trail received a grant to complete the next segment to Lake and Inland. So basically, they're making their
We're
way
getting closer to.
to Alger County. We did have one discussion with a whole bunch of different organizations, and we had a train call in and other communities within Alger County and Onoda Township was on the phone just to start talking about whether or not these communities would be interested in creating that link. Potentially all the way to Pictured Rocks and then through Pictured Rocks to Grammering. But this is just something that could stay on the radar if people are interested in it. And yeah,
Well, our way, they use the snowmobile trail for a lot of the RVs.
yeah, so the segment right now that's getting extended, is an ORV and snowmobile trail, yep, and snowmobile trail, and it's in the 100-foot railroad corridor. But they're actually building a second trail that parallels it to a degree so that the machines don't tear up the trail surface. So that's a really sandy, I've actually biked it, super sandy with these big rocks, and it's impossible, it's pushing your bike. So you have to kind of create a more compacted trail surface for it to work for your pedestrians and your bikers. But that rail corridor continues, like you were saying, through the county. Let's see. Determine priority trail links and access points for both motorized and non-motorized trails and develop necessary connections and trailheads. So just looking at, you have Valley Spur, you have the mountain bike trails here in town, you are putting in the bike path through town or have recently. But creating those links from homes to trails. Then user type specific trail enhancement. So when clubs are eager, like the disc golf, to create improvements, making sure that they have the support they need to pursue some of the funding opportunities there are out there. And that's it for the trail list. So then this goes back into our public comments that we received and some of the changes that people proposed, and I'm pretty sure I walked through this last time, but the little numbers in the corner are basically how many people called out that specific item. So on this page, we're looking at a lot of comments on just having more trails in general, regulating or reducing the snowmobile traffic and ETV, updating playground areas, the leave no trace policy, so you kind of hinted at that, making sure people know how they're supposed to take care of the land when they are recreating. And then on this page, we have more easy bike trails and connector trails. We have more opportunities for kids through teens, and then limiting guide groups potentially. Those were the big ones on the page.
I see it's 17 said nothing.
Yep.
Like, they don't want anything to change, or
Yeah,
we
they
don't need
want
any improvement.
anything to
Everything.
change. It's the way it is.
I'm like, is that nothing,
Although
like, I don't
under-
want nothing here, go away, or?
Yeah, we get that group in every. Yeah, so under values, you had five people say they didn't have any values either.
They also had 17 people say fewer people.
Yeah. So any others that you think we should include on these lists?
The list down here.
Yeah.
all of things that.
Their cell service is a need, a must.
Cell service.
Thought over the wreck, squeeze it into a wreck, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be a tricky grant
Yeah,
application.
see, that's just need to do that, cause then they can collect the fees. Cause right now you can't go out to Miners Falls, scan their QR code that they want you to buy your pass, cause you don't have enough service.
I think they got a tower that way, that's open up.
Well, they throw something up to,
AT&T
so they can get it. So the Park Service can collect.
Stop advertising as, sorry,
Yeah,
Right.
what they talking about there.
advertising the area, the region, picture
Sugar and
maps.
stuff and all that,
Yeah,
I think that people's personal social media itself does enough advertising if we didn't even do any, like just word of mouth from people.
rabbit's bringing a lot of the hat these days.
back at the court.
Ooh, look at that. I think the only thing I was looking at was that skate park. That's right behind. I mean, I love it. I mean, I was part of the group and the kids that it started with. I graduated in 2006. So we were part of that group of friends that started get the money to get that so we could get it. And I'm like, it's great, but I think it could be expanded a little bit. It's pretty tiny. I think that, skateboarders always had a really bad reputation, but you know what? You knew where they were and you knew what they were doing.
But does that get used right now?
I know my nieces and nephews hang out on it.
There's a few kids that.
They kind of hang out.
Ton, but
Yeah, that's better than,
Our kids go to the Marquette skate park all the time.
Yeah.
And they're 5 and 7, and that's who rules. the skate
Yeah.
park.
And it's also, that skate park
The
is
driver
large enough.
bikes.
This one isn't large enough for them to
Yeah.
use their scooters and use their bikes. Like you can only have 1 or 2 people playing on it at one time. So I think that
I don't think we own much.
land,
we don't.
Mhm.
But I think the big thing is too, it's all hill there, so you gotta dig into the hill to make
Yeah.
it bigger.
yeah. Well, even if we had to put it somewhere else, we found somewhere else. to
That's
put
what
it.
I was thinking, to put it over here by the school.
Mhm.
I think that a skate park would be a really great thing for the kids to have in the summer. Especially with the tourism we have, if we were able to do it like our playground and put that fence around and they were in an area that was safe. Cause kids just can't go riding their bikes and hanging out like we did when we were kids downtown.
Those
So,
are comments we received, that it
Yeah.
just isn't safe
Safe.
for kids to ride their bikes on the street.
I walked into, what is that, Dawes Gift House. I went in there one day and bought a bunch of random things and I have teenagers always around. I'm the cool mom, I guess, but they're like, where'd you get that? It's like Dawes Gift House. They're like, what's that? I'm like, the store right there in the corner. They're like, we've never even gone in there. I was like, when I was your age, I walked into every store just to bug people. Like I'd walk into Snyder's and be like walking around looking at everything. Like I knew all the owners of the stores. We knew Madigan's gave me a sucker.
I've never been in there.
Really?
Really?
I mean, we always were like, you had that one adult that followed you around the whole time, so you'd steal anything, but you were expected, you know, you were kids there, but we hung out downtown. We sat under the big tree in front of PSB. I wasn't part of the bad kids crew that sat there, but sometimes I did. So it'd be nice to have something.
I know a guy I can ask that can verify that.
But yeah, I think the skate park, if we could expand it or put it somewhere else, I know that everybody keeps talking about the skating in the winter. I mean, we have that in the summer, the playground is great, but I think the skating area would be.
There's something that can be used for in summer, the skating or the ice skating rink.
In the summer, could it be used for something?
Yeah.
For weddings, isn't it?
Weddings on the weekends?
Weddings, powwows.
Few of them.
Yeah, I don't think it's a source of income for the city.
So what they were talking about, Manistee just got a grant too for improving their skate arena. They were talking about doing pickleball in there in the summer.
There's pickleball in, down over here,
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Rec.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, tennis
Probably
court? Is that big enough
popular.
for a tennis?
Yeah. They converted two in Grand Marais, a tennis court into two big courts.
Yeah, I was wondering if that's big enough for a tennis court.
What, oh, and the gym?
Yeah, for summer.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier when we have an ice rink in the winter,
Well, in the summer you've got tennis.
lay
courts.
down some planks of wood and make it a roller skating rink in the summer.
It's concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a workout.
I mean, that
So
is
I
a
mean,
work.
you can make it a skating rink,
It's a very expensive building to run.
yeah.
It is.
The lights alone are incredibly expensive.
But it shouldn't be in the summertime.
But you still have to turn the lights on.
It's the compressor that's expensive.
Yeah, well, that is the most expensive when it works.
Yeah.
Pray that it gets cold enough so we can turn it off and have ice.
In the first building, we just prayed that it was cold enough to make ice, because there was no compressor.
How many months is the ice arena operation?
October 15th to March, April 1st.
But that's kind of dying.
Can't get enough
It's not as
volunteers.
good, not like, yeah, not like when I was a kid, but
My
it's,
grandson now, they've combined Munising, Manistee and Newberry to make a team.
it's expensive.
I was gonna say, hockey is expensive.
It's expensive.
It costs, the Hockey Association pays 60,000 a year to rent, to use the internet.
Oh, they're the major users of it.
Okay. I think if there's no hockey association here, that becomes like a city garage or something like that. Cause it just won't be economical to put ice down.
And even like open skate and stuff.
I'm listening.
You just back off.
Once you have a garage door, now you know.
And then it's the, you know, for open skate, for that to make money and do anything, they can't find enough volunteers to
Yeah,
keep an eye on the kids and open the concession. Whereas I was a kid, I remember being a kid and doing it.
Yep.
And now it doesn't seem like that's something that I see much of.
I think the Hockey Association took over the public skating, costs like, they pay like 5,000 a year to run public skating. To try and incentivize kids to go out and play hockey.
Yeah,
There just isn't the amount of kids anymore that there was.
they're coming. They're coming. Have you seen all the kids we're having?
Thank you for your contribution.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I.
The next generation's coming, I promise.
See if we
Like,
can get some
give
ice
it 5 years and we're gonna have too many kids in this town again, okay? Come on.
I hope so.
I don't see anything here on baseball, Little League,
Yeah,
Oh,
anything to do with that.
nothing's in here right now.
Do they have, Little League here, right?
we need a third
Well,
field.
yeah, we play one more.
We need a third field in Munising, cause 2 fields isn't enough for our, T-ball, Little League, and every practice. This year was awful. I coached
Yeah, 'cause
T-ball,
got
and I
softball.
couldn't get a field. T-ball was on soccer fields.
But the field they had in Train was just gifted back to the forester.
I didn't even know that was one that, I guess,
You didn't know that was there even.
no,
We just tore all the fencing out of it.
I had no idea it was even there. There's an option. I didn't know that they kept up on it or
Yes.
anything.
Find a field.
They've got one still,
We're in Big Yard then.
right?
No,
Let's
that's
just
the
go-
least amount of
Can we
window.
turn half the field up at the,
Yeah.
We used to practice.
Runway. just make another ball field in Wentworth there?
We used to play soccer there.
That's where we used
Yeah.
to play soccer.
At the airport.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
They're
out there when
back
I
to school.
first was out there.
Now now the Baptist play behind Tractor Supply.
Really, I don't know.
Yep, that's where we did
Field back
some
there.
Ronnie
T-ball
Olson's property,
practices.
they gave,
Oh.
let them level it off. They got a nice
That's no
field back there.
Yeah, we should get baseball and stuff added onto our list, so
Yeah.
if something crops up, we can
Mhm.
spray, cause this is just like a giant wish list of.
Yeah.
Why does the one in Brownsville not qualify for Little League? Can that be used for Little League?
It's a long size.
Is that what it is?
I don't remember. It's
Well,
Too big
they,
or not big
they
enough.
use it, but that's
The fence
where
is wrong.
you also like have, the
Softball.
softball there. So you have your teenager, your
very-
adult, there's so
There's not
many.
that much.
Yeah, they don't have a league anymore. The city doesn't, Parks and Rec doesn't have a league anymore.
Now you've got school football or a school softball.
Okay.
That'd be something that I would like to see happen again is Parks and Rec softball, slow pitch. That was big community.
I don't remember which way it is, but for like little, to be an official little league field, but then you're too far.
Cage softball?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I remember.
That's what I'm talking about.
Drinking and fighting, that's all that was done to do.
I told you it's a big community event.
That's why Hillside's there.
Yeah, that's exactly why it was.
We used to run across that street and get all kinds of candy. Mom played.
Times have
Since
changed.
a ball.
For running balls back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ball field that don't have regulation fences,
Right,
they can't, you can't play,
Literally with it.
so they can't go to regionals.
right, they can't have, you can't pick another level.
Chatham's fence is too far out, so they gotta bring them in to make it,
And I think that's the same thing, but I don't remember, it's one way or the other, it's either too close or
Yeah.
too far. And I think we're in the same boat, probably too far.
Chatham far.
hit home run there, that's pretty good hit.
I never got close.
Okay.
There's a number of little league fields that could be, and Trinity is in pretty rough shape.
Yeah, put it in there, ball field.
Just
'Cause that
improving.
one's at
those two.
the,
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we have.
that one's right there at the park, isn't it?
Huh?
That one, Sherry's right there at the
Yeah.
park, isn't it? Oh, there's
Yeah.
some, yeah, that park needs some love.
The lights are kinda hanging up,
Oh,
no,
you ever been in the bathroom?
no.
Good,
I
don't.
stay away.
Good dog.
They have bathrooms? Oh,
Yeah,
Grand-
yeah,
Every dog.
yeah.
Oh, they do
I've been better all those.
Electric bike trail rule.
Cause it basically, that's what it is, with no door. You like go around the corner and there it is. There's a hole with a seat on it.
Regulate Autrain River. I see that's on the less frequent mentions,
Regulate boat speeds.
but what do we mean by regulate Autrain River?
There's a lot of,
I'm sure that was residents that don't want to make it
littering.
on the river.
people smoking weed on the river, so. Which
And
is
they've been doing that since about
I
1950.
know. Yeah, I think it's a DNR issue.
I was gonna say, I thought the DNR were out there, but.
They are, but it's the volume, I mean, we
I
have
remember after we picked my aunts and uncles.
two
up after-
officers at any given
Canoe
time
race.
in Alger County. You know, and they're, it's not really, I guess it's not a priority. You know, so maybe it should be.
Grand Marine needs a bigger arena.
Spots,
No, but,
somebody said they did.
I don't know why, we have, they flood the, community center with, a basketball court, they flooded all winter. I stayed all winter long over there. And, but what we do need is for the national park to give us Grand Sable Lake back. Because we deeded it to them under the premise that it would remain a beach. And they destroyed the people. They planted grass. They,
Grass to.
and everybody, that was the swimming
Yep.
beach in Grand Marais. Forever, and they just decided they weren't gonna maintain it and just planted grass, eliminated swimming. And, I mean, you'd go out and swim, but
And that was owned by Grand Marine.
Yeah.
Township.
40 acres of it. yeah.
I remember when I was when I was a kid.
Yeah,
And that was gave to them under the impression that
Right
it
there by
would
the
be still
Wilkins
open to the public
well, it's open to the public, but
for
they,
$5.
well, that's true.
Just like everything now.
Well, I don't know, I don't pay for a thing, you know. I know people in high places. I have my military.
I say, I got that same, I know those same people.
Yeah.
They're in my pocket.
But, still, that, they destroyed that whole area right there where, I mean, every tourist would go off the ground until the Sapo or Lake Superior warmed up, then, you know, people swam at both beaches, you know, the bay, Lake Superior, but Grand Sapo Lake was the best swimming in the county. We confronted the Park Service about that too. But they
We
did.
had a meeting with David, in Grand Marais.
Were you there?
Yeah, I led the meeting.
I don't think he likes me. You're talking about, what's his last name?
David Horn, the park manager?
Yes, yes.
Yes, so the previous, at least partial owner, the guy whose family owned the hot dog stand,
Hubbard,
he was there.
yeah, we were
So
there.
we heard his perspective.
No,
He shared his perspective.
He did.
well, he was quiet until I got up and said, hey, you destroyed our beach. And I don't think,
I think they
I
let
didn't-
it, they basically let it go natural, and it didn't receive the visitation that it had been.
well,
And it's covered in ivy now, which is a
yeah.
major deterrent.
Yeah, well, first of all, they would no longer provide a lifeguard,
Mm,
but I disagree that they let it go. The lake itself, they wanted to let go natural, yet they had an unnatural beaver dam blocking the flowage of water.
mhm.
So the lake kind of got, you know, like a lot of pollen and people would get poison ivy, but even when, not poison ivy, but swimmer's itch. And they had that even when we were growing up, and yet maybe 1 out of 200 people got swimmer's itch, but that was all sand beach. So they just shut down the beach, basically. And then, and how, I don't know exactly what was written into that deed. But Jack was pretty upset because they sold it in a certain fashion.
Mhm.
And the sand dunes are all, I mean, you go up there now, it was all sand at one time, they have it all fenced off.
Mm.
The hell, it's our land. But, his sister literally paid her way through college, a doctor, with a hot dog stand
What year?
in the sixties
Yeah,
and early seventies.
I tried, it didn't work.
Yeah.
You
But
tried
it's
a hot
one of
dog
your-
stand?
I just did it.
I need a license.
Your water swimming access points in the future, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, it definitely falls under the swimming access.
Yeah, that would be a good one too. I mean, like, there's other places like Pete's Lake, but the bugs have gotten so bad nowadays that you need to go to a place like that's close to the lake, but is warm enough to swim in, you know?
Mhm.
I was pushing for Train Lake. We used to go there as kids all the
Yeah.
time.
I've been to that.
I've
The beach
been
is okay.
there in the last 2 years. I've taken my kids because I just didn't want to go deal with all the people on the beaches. And the water was nice, but you could just tell that it just wasn't kept up, even with it being a campground.
Yeah,
The swimming areas at campgrounds just aren't kept up like they were when we were kids.
So on the south shore of the lake, there's a swimming
The beach.
Yeah.
area? Yeah, I know the campground. I thought it was a pretty steep,
No.
no?
I didn't get over look at it, so.
Down Forest Lake, Train,
Yeah,
you go down, there's the campground. There's an actual beach area and it's it's all parking. They've got a bathroom. It's all grass. It's got a few picnic tables and grills, and then it's even got the buoys to show you where the swimming area is. It's just overgrown and not cleaned or anything.
yeah.
And it's one of those places, you know, I think I went to the Train meetings,
Forest Service. owned
but it's a
one.
Forest Service owned, so
There's nothing we can really do about it.
makes me wonder, what's a Forest Service doing?
Yeah, I asked that question.
What are you guys doing?
They don't know either, because they pay a company to take care of it now. There's some management company that.
That would just open up with, you know, trying to keep the Lake Superior shorelines nicer with less heavy traffic to point out that we have these inland lakes that are nice and have these nice beaches and nice grilling areas.
Yeah.
That it would take away from that lakeshore heaviness
And warmer water
and
bodies.
warmer water. And if there's more people, there'll be less geese and less swimmers edge. I mean, that's just how it works.
How is the fishing?
People fish on our train all the time.
Mhm.
And they have a boat launch there too, so,
Yeah.
I mean, it really has everything, just like any other campground area. Just, I met Buck Levasseur there for the first time when I was a kid.
Less advertising on that one. We're gonna try that one next summer, when it's not, when
His
it's not
son
as busy
stole,
as some of the others.
his son stole a hot dog right off our grill, and was like, I'm his son, I can take whatever I want.
Oh, kick from me.
He was in a leather jacket on a hot summer day stealing hot dogs.
All those campgrounds are busy.
Yeah, but I think that that would help with the trying to keep our lakeshore areas less traffic, if we could find a way to improve the Indian lakes and advertise them more for those that are in town, like, hey, we have some really nice lakes inland if you don't wanna spend all day out in the bleeding sun on the Sand Point all day.
Again, cell service would help with that. I can't go to a lot of them because I don't have service, and I'm on call all the time, so if
Oh,
I'm-
well, if you're on
I'm close
vacation,
enough, but.
if you're at least on vacation, you shouldn't have to worry about cell service. I'd be like, yay. I love going all the way out to Cow Lake, cause I didn't get any service after I'm like, see ya. Where were you? I was at Cow Lake for 10 hours, thank you.
Schoolcraft County, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What site
Yeah, and
is
that's the
that?
thing, I have to go all the way to Cow Lake, cause
Yeah.
that's the one I
Oh.
like, but I would go right down the street to Autrain, but it just, it's really, the shore is just gross. They could improve for sure, but. Yeah. Mhm.
Did you say Coles Lake?
Cowl,
Okay, we got a cabin just past that.
We almost.
Clear Lake, Cow Lake, whatever
Yeah.
that is.
We'll throw an extra UA.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I don't even know if I'm
Cow
saying
Lake.
it right.
You're not.
Say it really.
It's
Say it.
COWELLE.
No.
Well, or
Is it Colwell? Or is that,
something like
is
that,
that
yeah.
different? It's
No.
Colwell.
I think so.
COLWEL.
Colwell.
Colwell.
I've always.
Just say it
called
really
Cowl.
fast, call it.
Cowl.
It's the same thing as everybody, right?
It's a cow well,
It's got a nickname, just like everybody
Yeah.
else.
They pronounce it different
then it looks.
than what you said. I didn't know where you're talking about.
Oh, I called it Cow Lake.
Oh.
That's all right. Any other ideas?
No, I think we got a broad category, from there that we can squeeze into about anything.
Encourage electric ATVs and snowmobiles.
I don't think they need encouragement.
No.
That's probably why it's on the less frequent mentions. Cause they are here. Just like the bikes,
Mhm.
the less exercise people have to do, the better. It's what I think everybody likes. No, I don't actually have to pedal anymore.
Well, mine, you have to pedal.
Mine too.
So
Yeah.
Wait,
Some of them
on here
actually have
is-
to-
Yeah, all mine are.
a walking area, isn't that something that a lot of our residents wanted, was like an area to take your dogs and walk and
That's what I
be
always
safe
thought.
from everything,
Once, like with the airport, we've been talking,
right?
We were talking to Mickey about that earlier.
if we can define the airport outer boundaries. And cut a trail into there, so people can walk their dogs somewhere, they can just let them go and walk.
A dog walk,
Yeah.
big walk.
Yeah,
So
back
then
in
you'd
that southwest.
You'd fence it?
No,
No.
Well, there's almost enough, we could plant some more trees and fill in some of the gaps,
right,
because there's a lot of tree coverage there.
really, it's gotta be checked out, we gotta find the property line first, I think there's enough tree between that and the fairway.
They used to, when I was out there, they had a 2-tractor that went from where the sheriff's building is
Yeah,
to the south, and people used to walk that a lot.
Yeah.
When I was out there. And that was an excellent place to walk with dogs.
Just cause we have so many in the community where, yeah, you have all these hiking trails, but you're not allowed to have dogs on them.
Yeah.
Or they're just a little rough for people who have,
Well,
either have disabilities.
What they're
and
looking, what they're looking for is, they won't be able to take their dog off the leash and
Yep.
let run. Which gets a little bit complicated.
stuff. Well,
Is there a bathroom there that is open at certain?
Not yet, and not for like,
Yeah, I wouldn't be open to that. I mean, you could always put in a pit toilet or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bar.
couple of,
or a
porta-
vault.
couple of porta johns for them, somewhere like they do it
Mhm.
for extra there in Wetmore.
That's gonna expensive long term.
But those, so DNR, they really like the trail improvement projects, but this is property you own, so having some sort of a walking loop that's easy for dogs out there.
Yeah, I was thinking about, I wondered what I was out there the other day. Ain't gonna pick up on the first. At the airport, closing the emergency on it.
I'll be gone.
I'll just put it on.
Okay.
One, we got these big broad categories of. Swimming access, you're like Autrain Beach can have swimming access, fishing access, and you gotta put a. That's to put a pier in there, like we've got the DNR one down here, you've got fishing pier at Cull Lake, you've got one.
At
Camp 7, Beach Lake's got one.
yeah, that would be on our train. That would be a really good idea to put a fishing pier.
Yeah.
Maybe
Pete's
the-
Lake's not in Alger County either, now that I think about it.
No, I'm just thinking about,
Yeah.
Yeah, so what the heck is Alger County doing?
Fishing piers now.
We need fishing piers, you're right,
That's
it is on there. I guess I'm just thinking like, oh, we go
right down there
fishing.
in the big
We
swimming
go-
pool.
But when I think about it, I just take my kayak, I'm always fishing my kayak, my little, flat bottom boats, whatever. But I never thought, oh, it'd just be so easy for some 7-year-olds to
Yeah,
hang out with mom and fish off a pier. So yeah, we need a fishing pier, there we go.
Cawker's Pond, there's fishing.
Yes, there's a couple of them,
Where?
Cotton's Pond, at the boardwalk up Wetmore,
Oh, yeah,
they've done a nice job up there.
Handicap accessible too.
Yeah, there's like 4 spots, I think.
Third and
You can get out, they got that bench, 3 or 4.
very good.
so I can add these to the list and then forward it. But the next big step is basically the public review period. So we post an ad in the newspaper and say, hey, you have 30 days to comment on this. And then after that, we host a public hearing.
Probably get a
Just
few more people for
before
that one.
we close it, and then you can pass the resolution to adopt the plan.
Okay.
And the hard deadline is February 1st, to get your plans in with the DNR so that you can start applying for grants come April.
And we should probably look at, November. Because I'm with Mickey of having public. Express their issues before we do a resolution.
Oh, so having 2 meetings basically
Well,
Giving ourselves time to,
to make changes.
right, I don't like it how the government says we're having public notice on it,
Yeah.
but we already made up our decision, so we don't care what you're saying.
Mhm.
That's pretty much how they do it. I'd rather change that around, more to get their input and then make
Yeah.
resolution.
Sometimes we'll do it where the resolution of adoption is passed contingent upon these changes being made. But yeah, we can host for them.
Yeah, it's already October, so.
That's it, that's-
September, we only have 3 months.
I'd like to see in November,
for the public.
yeah, try to get it going as quick
30
as
days,
possible.
we're getting tight, but yeah.
Which you already doing
Which
one?
meeting would you have the hearing at? You have to have it at.
Yeah, that was special meeting.
Really happy to have a special meeting
I don't
for
think
it.
we have to have them done with the LEPC.
Well,
And between the 15th and 30th.
we'll stop there. But it was like this hearing, I mean,
Yeah.
Right,
I would expect we get a few more
you
people
think
for,
so? I thought we'd have more here.
so would I.
I did too, really, but.
But I also think that a lot of people in the area have been at the city hearing. meetings.
Oh.
So they already had what they needed. to do.
Yeah, I think a lot more people feel that they've got a stake in this than.
Yeah, you have to. We'd either have to do it now, make that decision to do a hearing, right, like. Next meeting, or, cause you need 30-day notice.
So it's a 30-day public comment period prior to the hearing happening.
So we'd either that or have a special meeting just for the hearing of the recreation plan.
Are we really in a big hurry with it? 'Cause nothing's gonna happen till spring, right?
But we
have to
have
have
to
it in.
plan
We have to
to
have
do
it
it
all by-
February.
Oh, February.
Yeah, February
Yeah.
1st is the only deadline the
So we gotta have a
DNR has
30-day
for submitting the plan.
And we've gotta have a hearing.
Well, for now, I just say we gotta work on getting it ready for the comment period. As soon as we have it ready, to get it out there for the 30-day comment period.
Yep,
Yeah, if we have to.
I mean, if we have it for
A week or 2
35
weeks after
days,
that,
doesn't
or
matter.
whatever.
Just, we have to have at least 30 days for comments.
So we're probably looking at one of our December meetings.
Yeah.
Public hearing, but that still gives us, at that point, that still gives us a chance to go back, because I don't think big, if people want
Right.
to. I think most of what we'd see is people want to add more things to this wish list.
Mhm.
I think that's pretty easy,
yeah.
just to add more to the list.
Right.
Yeah, I agree, we need to get it. Start getting the public's input, so we
We
gotta give them
didn't-
30 days.
So for the city of Munising, we didn't really have many folks show up for that one. Grand Marais is a whole different story.
Grammar meeting.
That's the
Hot
highlight of
heavy.
the week, it's.
Okay, all right, I'll make these changes.
But still, there's such a diverse here. I mean, you're different in Grand Marais than we are out in Chatham.
Right.
Chatham's different than Munising. Munising is different than Trinidad, so.
Yeah,
We gotta think of this as a whole.
Yeah, big bucket to catch everything.
Mhm. Okay.
I do have one question for you. Can a township bounce off our recreation plan?
No,
Okay,
which township? What-
Rock River,
Yeah, so for what?
what's that?
For what?
I don't know what they wanna do. I just wondered
Okay.
if a county has one,
Yeah, so
why
what-
would a township have to have one?
because they specifically speak to their own properties, they own their property. So what the township could do is sign a lease that allows you over a certain period of time to make improvements to their property.
It's possible.
Improve and administer.
Right.
Township-
The
township
township is
resolution
giving that
allow us
control
to
to the
control
county
it.
though, which most townships don't want the
All
county.
for a specific reason.
Right,
Yeah,
Or a specific
Um,
time period.
there is,
Right.
I think it's Muskegon. Is that there's, in that area, I think I heard that their townships and adopted into the actual master of the county.
oh,
And it was, I talked to somebody at QPAD about it, because I asked about that township. When you asked about that, I went to
Yeah.
QPAD and was asking about it. And there is one county in Michigan that got it so that their townships were in
so
their.
their township, it's so for Garden, we did the Village of Garden Township and Fairbanks Township all in one plan.
Mhm.
But it still requires them to be just as involved. So
Yeah.
this process that you're going through, I would still have to go through with Rock River Township, basically. Getting the public involvement from them, having the meetings with their rec committee or planning commission or township board. But there are, so like the fairgrounds area, that could potentially be something where you have a lease agreement where where the county can come in and provide improvements to the playground area. Or there are the other grants out there, like MDR grants, that could potentially apply for to get funds to do something like that too.
But in order to improve a Little League field, the property belongs to the township.
Mhm.
I wanted to cut the paperwork
Mhm.
and get it done. You can't do that.
I'd have to work with the township.
The township has to get their own rec plan.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes and no. Like you said, we could apply, if there's grants coming out there, we can apply for them as a county. For that, with a letter stating from Rock River, saying that we have the, how would you say it? The,
So you
Authorized to-
basically have an agreement drafted up with the township saying, we give the county the right to
do,
complete these improvements on our property.
Right.
And for Scandia, we just put the playground in
Mhm.
Scandia, they had that agreement with West Branch, cause they actually co-owned that property, or West Branch owned a portion of it. So they were able to still get a DNR grant Scandia and do the project there. But what I'm starting to visualize, and I don't have a clear map of all the Little League fields in Alger County,
Yeah.
but maybe you look at it at a county-wide scale, and it becomes a grant application to improve the Little League fields of Alger County.
Right.
And then you have those agreements
With the
with
township.
each community.
well, how do you get these agreements? Do you do that or does?
No, you would work with,
you guys would put into the grants, all right?
yes, we could help with the grant.
So would you have the wording that we put together so we could bring to the townships to sign?
It's a legal agreement, so it wouldn't be me looking at.
Do you know of one outfitter?
Somebody else does.
It's out of my wheelhouse, guys, but it's possible.
Well, as I said, if we could find somebody that already did it,
Yes,
if we can get that language, it's already done, we just gotta change names.
absolutely, yeah,
And if we can get that somehow typed up to bring to Rock River,
yeah.
Munising Township, the ones with the ball field.
Yeah, so if you have your listed priority ball fields, then we can work from there. The thing is, if you're getting a DNR grant, they're not just looking at the condition of the field, they're looking at the accessibility of the field. Whether there's a bathroom, which could be a vault toilet, whether there's a parking space with an ADA sign. If there's for someone to park a wheelchair adjacent to the bleachers, little things like that, which we can help with, in your application. But it's not just like improving the ball field itself.
Not just improving either.
No, I was just wondering
No,
if they would have piggybacked off us.
Uh-huh.
We'd have been able to, they're gonna have to wait a couple of years like we've been with this. It's been a while,
they have to, yeah, they have to approach us.
yeah.
No, but I still think this can be done, with
Yeah,
ours, under ours.
they can.
Okay. Any of these things, like a playground out there, you could do that too?
Yes.
Could you bypass the township, do the fair
I
board?
think I've been doing,
It has to be the landowner.
Landowner.
yeah,
Who owns?
The land.
The township owns the land.
yeah.
Fair board runs it.
The fair board, how'd that go? I think the Lions Club leased it. And the fair board rents it for or whatever for $1.
To do it.
Yeah,
But they really need some attention there. And the
Yeah.
schools trying super hard to find funds for a playground too, but finding funding for school playgrounds is a battle. Hard. Very good.
you can find out how Candia did it then?
I have a copy of their
Oh, good.
agreement.
Yeah, if you could
Yeah,
make that copy, so then you
Yeah.
can look at it, and see if we can get, change the
I just
name.
can't write, I don't have.
No.
Oh, no, I'm not, this ain't for tomorrow.
You'd have to give it to one of the lawyers to have it,
Yeah,
change the names. But it's easier if you give a lawyer something that's already been done. Instead of reinventing the wheel. So you all done with this?
I am.
Any questions?
Nope.
Anybody? Okay, on to E.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you,
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Foreclosing government unit report for real property foreclosure sale. Pam,
That is just a report the state has to have once a year. So, it has to be presented to the board also. That just tells you that I only had one property that went for sale and the amount that it went to sell for. And that the state has to know about. And
that's not a action item.
I think the board does have to approve receiving it.
Okay, consensus on that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Number 9. 2023 equalization. Same thing on this one? Questions on it? Census?
Yes.
Ken, how do you pronounce that? Caligo? Huh?
here, Caligo.
Caligo?
I go.
Go with that.
2024 web-based GIS housing, an amount of $5,000.
That is a yearly thing. that-
Yearly thing. I know I use it a lot.
I do too.
Do you?
You just out of curiosity,
Yeah.
sometimes
Oh, yeah.
it's really handy to be able to.
Here.
Law enforcement uses it a lot too.
Well, that's another one. That's the 911 maintenance service one. That's
Yeah.
another $2,500. This one's the public one that we all use, that we can go online on our website.
Instead of having to
Yeah,
go
I
buy,
can go-
instead of having to go buy a plat book.
Right.
It might be updated every couple of years, and at least updated.
We don't have Title III monies to pay for it with, where do you wanna take it from?
Sheriff's Department.
This is the community thing. I think the next one is yes. It's gonna have to come out of the 911 budget,
As it says.
but this one,
This one, we have been taking it out of the Title III money, but I don't know if that's appropriate, and I don't know if
Thank you.
that's.
Yeah.
I'd say. Where would the match be? I mean, for community stuff.
I don't know enough yet to tell you, so. We'll learn that about a month.
Right out of general, isn't it?
What,
Pam?
what makes the most sense? Equalization.
Equalization department.
So basically, let's take the money out of the general, put it in equalization and take it in equalization.
So just remember to put that in the budget for next year into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but this year is gonna get paid out of general fund, we don't have a budget.
Right.
So. I'm looking.
So we're gonna have to authorize
I'm looking
the
at the-
money, so
The
we
money
can do it.
deal.
The only thing I can think of is to amend, either pay for it out of capital improvements or amend.
Amend it.
And then equalization budget to add the, right, that would probably be the proper way.
I think we're gonna have to amend their budget anyway. So it's, that's
So
something,
at the end of the year or next month.
our next budget.
We just remember for next year, we put that in their budget,
Oh, yeah.
We don't have to.
so we don't do anything. Yeah.
So equalization
I think it's a-
uses it, right?
Equalization's one who gives all the deeds to them to make the
Right.
splits or make changes on the
That's the land thing.
property owners and that.
It's a nice resource for the public to have access to.
But they do use it, right? Equalization,
They do.
good place to bring it from then. Take it from.
Okay. 5,000 from equalization and consensus. Okay, number 11, that one, 25, that would be under the 911, right? Take it out of
Or,
consensus.
yep,
Yeah.
Number 12, authorizing snow hauling RFPs. Send those.
it looked good at our buildings and grounds meeting.
Any questions on that? Brian wrote it up, and I think you guys added a little bit
Add
to
a
it.
couple of tweaks, yeah, for both, giving them a deadline that if they damage anything, they've got till, I think, the 1st of July to have it repaired.
Yeah,
So that it's not a continuous, hey, we called you, now you're
we have damage from last year
Yeah, that's, and Brian was gonna contact him again about that.
yet, yeah.
And then, I don't know what the other. I think it was the more frequent, the 2-inch thing for the ambulance
I
garage.
do know, I read it
If
too,
we
it
get a
said
couple
that
there,
it
once
must
we
be
get-
done with a 4-wheel drive loader. Rubber tire loader will be
Is it
used.
just as, is it four-wheel drive or is it rubber tire?
It says a 4-wheel drive rubber tire front end loader. You gotta have one of those push banks back, but sometimes it's quicker, I know just from hauling, it's quicker to take a truck, run around, put it in the spot and the loader shove it up. I don't know if we wanna tweak that a little bit. I mean, they need to have a 4-wheel drive.
Or do we leave it so that we know they gotta have it because they gotta haul the snow away?
Well,
It's a big part of this one.
but it says it needs to be plowed every time. I know. In the middle of the day, now they're doing 2 inches. It's easier to get around vehicles with a pickup truck than having a big loader in here trying to squeeze around. They'll probably during the daytime do just a truck, keep it open. And then at night come and do the big plow of the loader.
Yeah, he doesn't have it spelled out in here, but Brian was envisioning, unless we got really snowed heavy,
Yeah,
about not having them. The only place they would come back during that, everything's supposed to be plowed, I think by 7 AM.
right.
The only thing that he's got as a comeback and do again is the ambulance garage. Because it's hard for him to plow around cars and all that.
Yeah,
What they do have too, though, you gotta remember now too, is we have state police here 24/7 in this building. That they gotta come and park in here. And the sheriff in the front, that's 24/7. So, I mean, we don't need the whole parking lot, but we need that part. I don't know.
No, that's a fair point.
They're pretty good about it. We call them, they'll send somebody down to plow it out.
Okay.
It's only been a couple times that we've done that, but they can send somebody right down.
With it as written or keep it?
I'm good.
You're good, I think. We're-
And questions are good? Consensus?
So bids by October 31st or the Friday before the next meeting or?
I'd say. the
Doesn't
Friday.
it,
I think it might look at the Friday before the next meeting, I mean, that's,
Yeah,
I mean, October 13th.
November 2nd,
November 12th, is that our next meeting? No.
13th,
Yeah, the Friday would be the 12th, I think.
November.
wow. Nothing from the calendars.
That's, I'll wait for somebody to say so. So,
there's something about that 4-wheel drive rubber tire that doesn't make a lot of sense.
no. 4-wheel drive. Rubber tire front end loader will be used for this purpose that shouldn't lose stuff. Contractor must have a rubber tire loader, front end loader.
For bank pushback.
To
Well,
to
the bank
maintain,
push back and they have to haul the snow.
right, to maintain. Yeah, I'd like to see that change too. They need to have that. A front end loader. To push banks back. I mean, there's no way you can keep doing it with a pickup truck, but there is times where a pickup truck
Yeah,
can get it. Just as long as they can maintain that part, that they're not interrupting parking spots.
Do we change the language and approve it next week?
You could do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or you
We
could,
could wait till next week anyhow. until we
Right,
have it
yeah,
done.
yeah.
okay,
So yeah, if you'd like a little tweak in there, just put it in.
yeah. Consent change,
Yeah.
and then read what in next week.
Yep.
Yeah. Number 13, authorized vote of bids for IT services. Questions on that?
Yes.
There's tons of questions.
We're supposed to have a meeting this morning with our current IT guys.
Yeah. What'd they say?
They must have got busy.
We said nothing. Crickets.
So that's our IT support.
In other words, yeah, we should probably put that out there.
So, yeah, they're gonna help with the language.
Right.
Might,
Right.
I might. I don't know how long it take to get that done, to be honest. I mean, it might be a November thing, by the time we can get around to it.
Yeah,
That's
I think that
given
one,
the same deadline as,
we can authorize consent on authorizing, put it out for bids, but we don't have what we're gonna put out in bids yet.
Yeah.
That's just, saying that we're going to.
Yeah.
Yes. Consent on that, you think? Sound good?
Yep.
Number 14, discuss carpool contract,
that's,
Carpal,
carpel
that would be
contract.
not carpal tunnel.
How do you pronounce that?
Carpel,
Carpel?
yep,
Is that French?
I don't know,
stick your pinky out.
I met the guy, he's a nice guy.
For prosecuting attorney?
So this, I'm gonna give you the abridged version here. We use this program called ACT, Adult Case Tracking. What it does is it prints all of our documents. So if I wanna file a criminal complaint, the individuals that work for me will put all the information in the ACT, and then they hit generate, and it, will print that, complaint. It handles all of our subpoenas and subpoena tracking. Those reports that, the data that I gave you guys at the labor meeting last week, that all came from ACT. It's our heart of what we do. And yes, it's the heart of what we do. ACT is very close to like a DOS-based system that was invented before I was born. And we've been using it ever since. The problem is, and this is kind of in the neighborhood of unfunded mandates from the state, the Prosecutors Association of Michigan provides us that product, ACT. They're no longer gonna support it, probably in the next 3 years. It's become, it's too old to work on our computers. And so we put out bids for a new system. It was a very contentious thing over the last year or so. We ended up being the small counties teamed up with the big counties with Wayne and Kent to kind of outvote everybody. 61 counties voted that we are gonna go, our state is gonna go with Carpal systems. So Carpal is awesome. It will be the heart and brain of what we do, because as a document imaging and workflow system. So all of our new files, then it ties us in electronically with our police agencies. Our agencies are gonna love this, because they're gonna be able to submit reports and evidence to my office electronically. Right now, they walk up and bring me a packet. And I carry around a box of packets all the time. That's not gonna happen anymore. It's gonna go into a queue. So fast forward, get all the brass tacks here. This, the state, no, don't worry, I have good news.
Yeah, there's the brass.
The state is paying for all of this.
That's good to know.
Yes,
Now I'm happy.
the state is
For how
paying
long?
for this, but there's a catch.
Well, how long is the worst? It's the setup. It's the
We
first-
will, yeah, we will pay nothing until 2027. And then we will be responsible for our annual support services fee of $7,000, $7,025,
What do we pay right now?
300 a year. We paid nothing.
You better put in your budget.
I will in 2027, I will. But today, it's not, don't, and to be candid, I have to sign this contract. I want you to approve it. Because it's gonna be better, because it's gonna be better. By, what I'm doing here, by entering this contract that I have to enter to run the office, is tying the county to something that we'll have to pay 4 years from now, in 2027. So it's going to be much better if the board approves it now, because you're gonna have to approve the expenditure in 2027 when I put it in my budget, if I'm still here, I put it in my budget. But for transparency's sake, I thought it'd be a good idea to come to the board and say, you know, this 48,000, we're not paying for that.
That's good. 'cause
Like,
that-
we lobbied for money and the state passed a budget to include that for the initial startup cost for all counties. I wanna get this approved, because I was able to negotiate for us to be on the first rollout counties. We're the first 11 counties to roll out. And we'll go live in May. So I'm really excited about this. This is a big deal. It's going to tie us in with every other prosecutor's office in the state. So I'll be able to say, I get a guy who is a bad guy, I can see if there's any pending actions in other counties against him, which I can't see right now. I don't know that. What else? So like I said, it's no money right now. It's gonna be $7,000 a year starting in 2027.
So pretty much 3 years from now. In 3 years, if something changes dramatically, like something else comes out that they switch, are we still locked into having to do this? Do we can say, no, we're going a different route.
We could do that. We could, I don't want us to.
No, don't want
Okay,
to. I just wanna know our options.
Our
Is that-
options.
We're not signing a 20-year contract.
Nope,
Right.
nope.
Okay.
So by all that really doing this is telling the Prosecutors Association and the state is that we want to be on the first round of rollouts. We're not even committing to spending 7,000 really, but if we don't, they're gonna pull our licenses. We're not gonna be able to use this product.
So this all comes down to where the officer will be able to go on his laptop and fill this out. It's then paperless.
It's gonna save us.
Okay, now here's another thing is, how much is that gonna cost us now to put laptops for the officers?
They all have them already. Well, they have computers anyway. So, I mean, I don't think I understand what you're saying about like hidden costs and unforeseen circumstances. The officers right now are drafting their police reports on a
Yes,
computer.
they're doing the report.
Well-
You in a
Already,
report
so-
writing software, and then they're printing it and bringing it to me.
I was gonna say, even how you just said, doing the research of having to go to another county to get those information on a bad guy, that's gonna take away less time that they're doing, so it's gonna be in their budget to pay for it, because they're gonna have less hours they have to pay people to do the stuff.
I just know the officers,
Theoretically, yes.
the county officers would like to have laptops in their cars.
Yeah.
Right now, they're going back to the office to fill out reports, when they could easily be filling out reports while they're sitting there stopped in different spots.
And a good conversation. I don't think this has little to do with that because
Okay.
I don't know I know how they do their work, but this is about how we do our work, you know?
But that would go right into yours if they did that.
Yeah, it would potentially speed things up a little bit. Now, you look at our county officers are not engaged in a whole lot of road patrol. They're more focused on long-term investigations, which are the kind of investigations that you're gonna go back to your office for. Hold on. Would you-
Having to go back to the
Yeah.
office and do paperwork is
Yeah,
part of the game.
Yeah, part of the game, right?
It
And
has been forever.
you're on the road on an MSP cruiser, running one of our major trunk lines, you're gonna want that right there, like that. But they are gonna theoretically, the MSP will be tied in as well, they'll be able to submit directly to me. Most of our criminal complaints come from Michigan State Police.
So there's a Michigan wide going with this.
Every county in Michigan.
And we're.
The controversy in Michigan was from the mid-sized counties, Muskegon, Kalamazoo, places like that, because they had already spent a ton of money on a program like this that wasn't this. So we didn't do that. I knew this was coming. And frankly, we didn't have the money to spend. And it's not the money as much as it is the IT services. All those counties have built-in IT guys, our IT guys in, Minnesota. So we wouldn't been able to do this. Yeah, like I said, what we're really committing ourselves to is to spend $7,000 a year starting in 2027. And if I have to, if I have to make budget issues at that time, if I'm the prosecutor, I'll do that because we need the program. It's how we do business. And it's going to revolutionize the way we do this. Like I said, the program we use now is older than me. Kathleen and Corey sat in on the demos when we were back picking a program at the state level. And this is also the cheapest, by the way.
The state picked this, so they're all doing this. They don't give you
yeah,
plan A, B, C, D, you can go with that will work. They're picking this one and
the options are use the state one, which is the cheapest. Build your own, which we can't do.
Will not be interconnected.
No, it won't have the nice bells and whistles. And, or do it the old fashioned way. We're not gonna do. That which would be, you know, pulling up a fillable PDF online and typing everything in, which we will cripple our ability to prosecute criminal activity. And it's not the complaints as much as the subpoenas, you know. I subpoena anywhere from 10 to 20 people a week to criminal hearings in the county. And they generate the copy and paste. No. Well, if we're subpoenaing the same person every time, the same case.
We use a similar.
Everybody
thing
gives you
in
a
funeral
copy of the
home
same thing.
where I put the information in once, and if I need to do this form, that form, whatever, I click on it, it propagates it. It fills in 98% of the form for me.
Right.
Yeah, I might have to change a thing, but,
I do.
so I kind of understand where that comes from. It saves a lot of time.
If you had a drug dealer going through the county, was out of state,
Mhm.
would this help you with that?
No, probably not. This would help if he or she had, like a case in the queue in another county, like, I got about, right now, I have anywhere from 12 to 20 warrant requests that I literally carry around with me all the time, so when I get a second, I pull one up and read it, and I either authorize or deny. I'll be able to see whether other prosecutors are doing that. And how it's gonna help is, let's say for example, I got a guy in Kalamazoo, who's got prosecutors reviewing a drug possession case. But then I have a drug delivery case here. I'm gonna call that Kalamazoo prosecutor and say, hey, look, I got a delivery charge up here, I'm gonna give him a plea deal. He's gonna plead guilty as charged in Alger County, and you're gonna dismiss your case completely. In Kalamazoo County, they don't care. You know, here we care. So that's what I'm excited about, global offers. And I would win on global offers because, we always work with people from bigger counties and they don't have the micromanagement ability that we do. So, this is gonna happen, and there's nothing we can do about it. You know, if we did not pay the royalty fees, we would be, in a position to be doing it the old fashioned way. The state worked hard to make sure that they got the funding, our association, to pay all the upfront costs, the 48,000, which is what, you know, and then you look at a county like Oakland County, it's, you know, like 1.8 million to do the upfront costs. So, I think we're in a really good position, and the $7,000 a year is a significant thing. You should not discount how much money that is. But at the same time, it is 2% of my budget. So,
But it would save you hours, your hours, right?
right, and I can't quantify that, like, I don't know how
You
much
don't.
time this is gonna save. And I can tell you, at first, come go live day, May 15th, I think, it's not gonna save us any time.
No, because you're coming with Texas.
We gotta learn how to use it,
Yeah.
but they're sending, in the initial startup fee that the state's paying for, they're sending people here to teach us how. And
Like 5 days of in-person training or something like that.
yeah, and one of the things that they wanted us prosecutors to share with the funding units is that the $7,000 a year is the maximum that it's gonna take, that it's gonna cost. Let me get to my funding sheet.
it may go down.
And I think it is gonna go down for us, because there's some bells and whistles in here that I don't think we're gonna need. In the bigger counties, you know, they're looking at those bells and whistles and saying, oh yeah, we need this, and the other thing. We only have 3 law enforcement agencies DNR, 4 from the DNR, that submit to us, so it's not gonna be crazy. Let me see if there it is. So, and then there's all these optional items here too on page 26. We're not gonna go with any of those. We don't need them. They're not as applicable. There's, okay, on page 25, customization services. Some of the interface with Vine we're probably not gonna need. And we can probably discount we may be able to discount our $7,000 a year by dumping the fine services. That's 5,000 for startup, but they have a continued oh, here it is. $1,000 a year, so that would bring that down to 6,000. One thing that I looked at too, to cut costs was. I don't use ACT as a prosecutor, my staff does. I don't even know how I look at it and I go blurry eyed. But, so I said, well, I don't really need a license, let's let them do it. And then I called the Prosecutors Association, they said, no, you need to use the product too. You can't make everybody else do it. And then I looked at the cost savings there. It's like $150 a year to eliminate one of the licenses. The big costs are the interface maintenance, which are the MSP lab one, though, is gonna be huge. I can't tell you how often we adjourn cases because we don't have the paperwork from the lab. And this is going to upload it immediately to our office. And then this e-discovery package, we're gonna be able to shoot it electronically right over to the defense. So they're gonna get it quicker too, and then their clients can they can tell their clients to plead guilty after that, or not. Anyway, I think it's a good package. I would, for the community's sake and for transparency's sake, I'm hoping the board can vote on it.
You have questions?
No, my
You want
biggest
to
question
hold
was
on
at
it
48.
tonight?
No. Just before on the consent agenda. we could-
Yeah, my big question was that monster startup fee, but the
Yeah.
state's picking that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's-
Consensus?
Consensus.
Yep.
Unfinished business, is there any?
Cost saving?
Or cost savings? That was the cost saving.
Yeah.
Dean doesn't want to talk about any more money.
I'm trying to skip it through, this is a good way to. Does anybody have any cost savings, revenue sources?
We're gonna be submitting our, Michigan Department of Corrections billings, and we gotta have a lot this year, so.
Show me the money. Okay, 16, unfinished business. I don't think there's any.
Yeah, one.
You're good.
Our money for the.
Oh.
The terminal,
Yeah.
lounge, whatever you wanna call it. Page 110, 111.
Right there.
Is the- This is stuff.
Did you have a number?
There's two numbers, that's what I'm writing down right now to get for you.
13,
There's
6,
13.6 for the bathroom, and then
This is the
I saw,
full
where
wall.
was it?
31.
31,850.
Yeah. That's 45,000.
Yeah, 46 and change, I think, was what it was originally.
And that was what, we're gonna have a lot of,
Right, we're not gonna pay all these labor fees.
no, I would. I stressed to everybody on that board of the airport committee, we only have so much money.
Yep.
This year is just gonna save time for us. What we wanna do is let them use this money up to whatever we agree on here. So they don't have to come to the board every time they're spending $3,000 in lumber. But it sounds like everything is gonna be donated. There's different ones that has to be some electrical. I think Tom said he got that.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna work on getting the electrician to basically just.
Yeah, we have,
We'll do a lot of the physical work and the electrician will come.
right, we gotta pay for the materials, but. Yeah.
Make it all kosher.
Right,
Yeah, we got donation for some, for the wall finishings,
because I think what it is right now, the
2x4s,
airport.
installation, light,
Crew
wire.
up to, I'm gonna say 40,000.
I think that's a fair number. I think that's more than should be necessary.
Right, that's less than what the bids were.
Yep.
And I think it's,
Cause we're not
gonna
actually
be-
building another bathroom, we're just building.
right, I think this is gonna come, I'll be surprised if it hits 20,000, but I just wanna make sure it does not have to come back to the board.
Right, we don't want
And slow them
stop
down,
halfway through,
right,
or have to keep plowing snow to get in there to try and get it finished over the winter.
so. I put $40,000. That sound good to everybody?
I have a question. You're going off Norm's bid.
Yeah,
Just to give us something to
some
go
kind
off
of
of.
number.
Do you have okay for him to do that?
Norm's not doing the work.
Norm's not doing the work.
No, I'm saying,
We're just
he
taking this.
worked and got a bid for you,
Yep.
and now you're gonna use the bid and do it yourself? You
No.
should be, he should okay you to do that.
We changed,
We've
They're not-
done some of this work already.
yeah, he did part of it. He did the one side of it, now they decided not to do the bathroom. And they're gonna have all the labor done for free. All we have to do is do, pay for the materials. So how much do we wanna move for materials?
This is not what I'm reading here. Use Norm's construction bid to quote construction materials needed to finish the airport pilot's lounge and authorize up to specific amount. But you're using the man work and made a bid, and you guys
I
are
agree.
taking it off of that. That's not right.
Okay,
You
so,
should make your own bid and come up with what you have. Because he worked on that.
and we're trying to do it, save some time. Because, you know,
Yeah, but
we've got to show some progress.
I know, you're cutting this guy's throat.
Not trying to,
Well,
you know.
he did the work.
Okay, then take his bid away and
Yeah,
let's
you
just
got it.
authorize the number, let's just,
Yeah,
we were
Take
trying
that
not to
away.
guess at a number,
Yeah.
so.
I hear Mickey's.
I know, I do understand what Mickey's saying, I get what you're saying.
That shouldn't have
No.
been worded as use Norm's construction bid to quote construction material needed.
We weren't sure how to word
Okay,
it. I'll take it up.
yeah.
I wrote it. I read it.
Let's just say we didn't.
so this
we
guy
weren't sure
might have
capital.
took a day to figure that bid out,
Oh, I'm sure he did.
and you're just kicking him out, and you're gonna take his list.
Yeah, it was,
Find your own list.
The only list we had.
no, and that's, I totally agree with that. What we're looking forward here to do is to try to make it easier to go forward. They're gonna do it with all donated time and a lot of donated materials. But there are materials that we're gonna buy. And it's gonna come as needed kind of thing. So it's, we come back to the board every time we need $3,000-4,000, like for all the electrical stuff. We'll buy it all, come back, we need X amount of installation, come back to that. Like I said before, this airport money, when it's gone, I'll be the first one to say that we're not taking out of tax dollars to keep it running.
No,
So-
and that's why we pushed so hard for people to donate materials, time.
So it's, on them to try to save money.
Yep.
But they can use that money that's in there for airport. But how
So I
much
guess we just need to decide on what number we wanna authorize
available
to make
For-
available
up to a certain amount for them to finish the airport lounge. I can't see it being over $40,000 for as much of,
oh, I can't see it being over that, I mean.
as much of,
I'm-
all the labor's already donated.
Right.
A lot of materials are donated,
Materials are already donated.
so,
So you wanna authorize the
Certainly,
airport committee
you know,
a certain amount of money, leave Norm's right off of it.
exactly, that's what I said, that shouldn't.
yeah,
have
we
been-
can take that right out of there,
Okay, that's what you want.
Yep, I agree with you there.
so when we need to do the installation, we go over to 41 lumber, get how much ever insulation we need, get it put in. Right. We need outlets, you know, cause we've got accounts at 41 lumber and both hardware, so between the three of them, we should be able to get anything within the county that we need to, you know,
And that's,
gotta get a roll of wire, gotta get. Those kinds of things,
I'm gonna say the amount of 40,000.
not to exceed.
Up to 40,000.
Right.
This is what I
And
wrote.
just for finishing of,
Yeah. I got authorized the airport committee to spend up to $40,000 to finish the airport.
airport pilot lounge,
Okay, whatever.
the lounge, yeah.
Is that all right?
I put down 40,000 to finish airport, I did just the opposite of you, I erased the first half. And then put 40,000 to finish airport pilots lounge and authorize the amount of 40,000. So however you wanna put it, Joel. That's gonna sound
the airport committee to spend up to $40,000 to finish the airport's pilot launch.
right, I don't want it to be for anything, just for the lounge only.
Correct.
Airport pilot launch.
Right.
Money to come from airport.
Correct,
Yeah, we're not gonna go and buy cones or
you know,
things like that. Only to complete the work to specify.
anything else? I'm good with that language, I'm good. Consensus?
Consensus?
17, financial matters. LMAS,
Yeah.
quarter is it, June, third quarter,
Third and fourth.
fourth quarter. And pathways for their fourth quarter. One thing, well, we got canceled LMAS,
Yeah.
That'll be done for correspondence. Any questions on that?
I wonder if I would get, I'm going to go to the LMAS meeting. And I wanna know why they're not open on Friday.
That's where I'm,
Do I have authorization to question them on it?
I wanted to say that too, but they canceled the meeting.
Yeah, I know,
After I told them.
You'll be
I know,
well, I'll trade places.
What they do, they go to a short beat or something?
no,
Only working
I don't
40
know.
days or-
Mac, that Mac convention.
they had a Mac
Commissioners were-
convention, so they
It
canceled
was
the
in
meeting.
Traverse City.
Okay, but
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
why aren't
so
they
LMS is
open
only open 4
Fridays?
days a
They're
week.
only
What
open
we
4
need
days.
to know.
What got me was,
They're there, but they're not open.
it was,
They're pulling a city hall.
there you go.
Oh, no, the city hall's been did it for
Yeah.
ages,
Well, ever
and
since.
they're still doing it for like an hour.
They're
in the
still,
afternoon.
they're in there, I know
They're
they're,
there.
I
They're
can see
next
you
to
in
the door.
there.
Well, answer the phone now.
Give me some
A
garbage.
few Fridays
stickers, damn
ago,
it.
we pulled a septic permit. It was 10 days. Since we pulled the permit, we did not have an answer. A permit in our hand yet, after 10 days.
In
On that
October.
10th day,
Not good.
it was on a Friday,
Nobody there. Oh, nobody
he leaves a
answered.
message on my son's, Luke's phone saying, yeah, I have a question about this. There should be another tank or field on that property, but I couldn't find it. Call me back. You can't call him back
Oh, yeah.
on a Friday. So we have, my other son has $500,000 worth of equipment there, sitting there, put a septic in.
Alright.
And then he calls him back the Monday after that. My older son says, I gotta give you a verbal warning for putting in a system without a permit.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
And I called everywhere trying to get a hold of somebody Friday. I'm on the board. I can't even get a hold of our own goddamn. I was.
So find out when, so you'd like to know
The-
when.
Why,
Yeah,
we are a public service, that is, a public service, to service the public, they need to be open on Fridays. And I told him that Monday, I told Walker, I got a hold of him. He's our chair, and I said, I don't care what the other counties care about, but Elder County needs service. I mean, we have people that take days off that don't live here to come up here, that own property. They'll take a bird Friday, they come up here to get all the permits, and they're not even open. So, yeah, it's consensus on me, I'd say fine, you ask them about it. I won't be here, but, and it's probably good that I'm not there.
I could specifically.
Yeah, there's no reason not to ask them that, I mean, that's, you know, I gave the city grief, like, really? You're in there and I can't even, you won't even answer the phone?
Right, exactly. And they won't take my phone call either, I can't get a hold of anybody.
Yeah. It's-
When we're,
Are we paying the appropriation?
I don't know, are we, should we?
Well, that's a threat.
Well,
we should still pay their appropriation.
I'd say we pay them 80%. That's 4 out of 5 days.
We'll see what happens. We can always pull
Yeah, no, we should pay their appropriation.
Yeah,
But yeah, feel free to ask them, I mean, that's a legitimate question. Why are you not opening up, why are you not answering your phones?
Are they there?
There, some of them are there, they just lock the doors.
They
So
don't
it's
answer
not-
the phones.
Oh, yeah, they're getting 40 hours a week.
Like they don't have enough people to work on a Friday, but they're there, so.
Yeah, public
That's
service.
not good.
Can I ask? I'm curious to know what the answer is.
We had consensus on something.
Consensus on paying.
Alright.
B, board bills.
We had our audit thing, right?
Yep. Yeah,
It was here, Rick was here.
Kelly and Rick approved their board bills that come up to $325,180.72.
Well, there's a
Wow.
lot of caveat.
How you doing?
I had to say it because it was a number.
Yeah.
Even he said not to pay him when he saw the number. He did not authorize.
Thanks, sir.
I was like, oh,
He said no.
I'd seen that and I'm like,
It was the first reading.
No. I did have a question on that.
remind you.
That what was it? You used to-
Tigris?
No, you used to run the, ARPA funds.
Guidehouse.
Yeah, why are we still paying them?
We should have had a small one, or
$367.
They get paid $150 an hour, so. That probably was the submission for the end of the year report.
No, this is the last year of that, isn't it? And then we're.
No, we have to do a final report in April 2018 or 2024 for,
Final spend.
final, yeah.
And how much is that gonna cost us? Depends how long it takes them to write it up. At $150.
Is that $367 every month?
No,
No,
that's
okay.
just,
Okay.
Because you had them do work.
yeah, there were some times it was hundreds, if not.
Oh, I know,
We
but
spent a total of like $16,000.
I thought we were done with it though.
And we still have to file the end of the year report, I guess.
Oh.
Exactly, that's all.
Any other questions on the bills? Consensus or something? Yeah. Resolution, how that goes today?
Financial.
What we're on? Oh, trial balances,
I'm on 18.
17. See. There was no
Oh.
17. I didn't see
For
it,
bills.
just for the record.
Yep, approved financial report for all funds. That's what we just did.
No.
No.
Bills, the trial balances for payment.
That's
All this.
What page is that?
116,
That's even more money. Where's all the money going? You're spending it.
Three pages.
Look at it. It's a bad month.
End of the year,
You're
never looks
driving up the
good.
budget?
December.
I see Daniel.
It's better.
Any questions on that one? Still at only 75% of our expenditures, 75.6.
Pretty much right on the- Anyhow,
We got a lot of free food too.
3/4 of the year.
in the final quarter.
Consensus on that?
Yes.
Okay, now we're on to resolutions. Who's on that today, Mickey and?
Yeah, we we'll do at the next board meeting. Plus, we're gonna do the one on.
We're gonna be quick
Yeah.
tomorrow at.
No, there's another meeting.
Brownfield one?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, we're also.
I can orally tell you that it's, I wanted to check what all the laws,
Remember,
the statute.
Not to approve, to put to a vote.
Yeah.
The next time, because
I don't like how the old
Yeah.
ones always feel approved, it was just like, no, that's, it's,
Oh, the committee approves.
right. Oh, yes. Okay, committee reports. Rick, got any?
Not so much.
The only one I've had since the last one was resolutions today, so.
I went to where we were at, CAM meeting?
Any action?
Yeah. That we're going, big one there was going to every other month on the meetings. Save some time and money on that. Thank you.
I really haven't done any.
Kelly?
We had our first opioid committee meeting. Yeah, we did. A lot of research is being done. I got, online and had a Zoom meeting with FAN, which is Families Against Narcotics. Talked a lot about how we'd like to get, they need help with transportation, to get people to and from rehabs and the help that they need for mental health. Getting kids more aware of what it is that drugs do, more of those prevention programs in the area. So we're doing a lot of footwork right now to find out what we need in our community. Not just overall what everybody would need. So we're, right now, I'm just talking to everybody. Next is pathways, and I talked to the health department. And they have a lot of things that we could use the money for too, so.
That's not been a Friday.
That's not a Friday. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much the big one I've been focused on right now. And then I had a QPAD meeting, I'm kind of blanking on what that was. But mostly,
Rubbish.
you're not gonna be excited. So very disappointing, we found out that we can't hire QPAD to do all of the footwork for the first 2 phases. We gotta do that ourselves. Because they don't get the money. As far as they know right now, they don't receive any money until after we choose them for our planners.
Don't we pay them to plan our stuff as it is?
And that's where we're at. We have to do all the footwork to get them to do the rest of the planning and get it going for the 6. But
But that's what we hired them
But
to
that's-
do that.
yes, so right now, it looks like they're gonna find out soon what exactly the wording is, but it looks like they are not gonna be able to have any money until after we've submitted all of our plans, we've done this and chose them to be the people to do the thing. They just found this out.
But we pay them to do that anyway.
Well, we aren't paying them to do the big 6 plan thing, 6 county plan. That's what we would like them to do. What we would have to pay them out of our pocket because the money from the grants and everything.
But once we get the grants, that'll come back to us then instead of going to them.
That's what would happen if that's what we chose to do.
Yeah,
So just all we're doing is putting the upfront cost and we get it back later.
If we choose to do so, yes. So
Yeah.
that's what we found out is we would have to pay from our pockets until the money comes through,
reimburse.
which is like the 180 days, then it's another 180 days. So it's almost a full year before.
We would get our money back. But I mean.
So it's a conversation that's having to be
They're gonna give
had.
us a final answer on what they can do and can't do.
Yeah,
Yeah, cause I mean, that's the whole problem is that us trying to do the legwork
yes.
isn't gonna work.
That's what we
Yeah.
pay
On our
them
own.
to
We
do.
don't know how to do
So
it.
we'll probably end up having to pay them and reimburse ourselves when it comes in then.
Well, I thought that's what we paid that for, is to do all that stuff for.
Well, we hire them for certain things.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Sorry,
Are you talking about recycling?
yes,
Materials management is the new,
yes,
which I did, I've got to follow up. The gentleman from the mill, I gave him, I
oh,
passed him
yeah,
the Q-pad.
okay,
The
I talked
mill is
about that.
looking at maybe putting in the paper mill. Well, I can't pronounce their name these days. They're looking at maybe putting in their own pellet mill, so that they don't have to truck like all their broken stuff and throw it in the landfill. They can turn it into pellets, they can burn that. Like he said, they probably would never get enough to completely get rid of their coal, but at least they could supplement their coal. Because then that falls back onto those 4 bills and Lansing about the green energy, I'm sure, is what made them start looking into that.
and it would give our county one of those
One
stocks
of those-
of things that could be dropped out
Because
here.
turning it into, instead of going to landfill, turning it into energy is a viable thing under the streets.
Lansing paper is looking at the same thing,
Sure.
Yeah,
so whoever's gonna jump on it first is gonna get the.
Yeah. Yeah, they might do it on their own, just so they don't have to truck their own stuff, and then. That was kind of where I was getting from them, is that then they would take, like, if we wanted to bring them, anything
Lansing
combustible.
paper, the owners of that
Yeah,
also own the landfill. So it's,
that's pretty much it for my main report.
and I did forget, we had, buildings and ground too. We talked about the snow, so I forgot about the other things that, nothing immediately, but, Brian Hill brought up a couple of things that we have to watch for in the future. Said, would like to get somebody in to at least give us a bid on this roof next year. For possible repair, whatever we're gonna do for like 2025.
I'd like to
We
see,
get leaks. He said every time it rains,
oh, there is leaks,
yeah,
okay.
there's still leaks. He said they're not crazy bad right now, but he'd like to at least get us thinking about.
I'd like to see, when was the last time we did our roof?
Yeah.
And what was the life expectancy, do we have a warranty on it? I mean,
He said it's long, he said the
the warranty's long
warranty's
gone?
been gone since before he started working here.
Okay, so,
So he has looked into that for us. And then his other, and then the committee, we authorized Pam to look into, there's a possibility, there was a possibility some years ago, like the locks and stuff are failing in the jail. The plumbing in the old part of the building is just a hot mess. It was 30 years ago and it's only got worse. Looking for some grants through, I don't remember who it was through, Pam,
Our liability company in
Yeah.
Marne.
that there might be some money there. It wouldn't be 100% money, but if we're gonna have to spend money to fix.
We pay 50% up to 50,000.
Yeah, so we got Pam just looking to see if those are still available, what the details are there, so when we know more, we'll bring it to the board with some recommendations, if we get some.
yeah, we got a long road ahead of us with that over there.
He was able to,
We gotta start really thinking about that.
he found a box with some old solenoids and was able to repair the one door that wasn't working right, but. How long that lasts, or how long the next 2 solenoids he found last. So, just some food for thought for,
When did you say you wanted to do the roof?
he'd like to have somebody come look at least have, at least, start getting,
Look at it next year.
have contractors come look at it.
There's a guy that works at the mill, I don't know his name, my son knows him, that does those types of things. He's doing a roof for my other son in Marquette, he's got
Okay.
an office building and he's gonna do. I can get his name for my son and
That'd be great, because we were, part of the thing that the committee was trying to come up with, and we would have to do some more research. Cause we don't wanna just call one person, this is, of course, we wanna get the best bang for the buck that we can, so.
Well,
I'll try and get his name for you tomorrow.
Perfect.
I think we put it out on bids and have a mandatory, inspection, pre-bid meeting, so go up
Get up
there
there,
and,
actually look at it,
it ain't all about the money, it's what they're gonna do.
Right.
So,
so yeah, he would like us to think about getting, think about that over the winter and start the ball rolling for probably 2025 to
Did they ever get they had trouble with the main entrance when you come in?
Yeah,
Did they ever get that taken care of?
Didn't ask him specifically about that, and he didn't bring that up specifically, so. He just said, every couple of rainstorms, and they find another bucket.
yeah. I know Joe still been after before about that, and so I'm thinking next year that's, we'll have to get on it and see what it is. Correspondence. So, got anything?
The letters,
We have, Kate Powers and, Richard Hale, both of the non-expiring board of canvassers, both in their resignations as well. So this one falls back to me. I request 3 nominees from each party chair again at this point. So we will have a new board of canvassers. And I told Raylene and probate court asking about this one, but Christmas schedule, I don't know if we made an executive finance, we can think about this, which day. If it, when the contract, it says if it falls on a Saturday, it bumps to the Friday before, if it falls on a Sunday, it goes to the Monday. But Christmas is on Sunday, and or the Christmas Eve is on Sunday and Christmas is on Monday.
Yeah.
So we're wondering, does that one, are we bumping to Monday, Tuesday? Because if you apply the same thing to the New Year, which,
It's a 1 week after.
yeah, but then you're bumping the 31st into the next year. So would we rather take the Friday and the Monday both, or on Christmas, just do Monday, Tuesday, and only have a 2-day work week?
They always get the first off, don't you?
Yeah, which lands on
Monday.
a Monday.
And then the 25th is a Monday.
Yeah,
so the eves are those,
so the
do
eve.
we give them Friday or Tuesday?
Right.
That's, I think what the question is, right?
Sorry.
It's never landed that way since I worked here, so I don't know.
Myself, I want 26 off.
That's actually on
Tuesday?
the contract,
Is
it's
it?
written where. It's
Yeah,
Sunday
so somewhere
gets
there's gotta be
moved to
some
Monday,
language.
and Monday moved to Tuesday.
Yeah, that's how I.
Yeah.
Is
That's
that how it
what
runs?
Yeah, that's
But
what
then
the
we might
contract
have-
says, that's,
Is it
If
2-day
you
work week?
have a holiday on Sunday, you usually take a Monday, well, that's Christmas Day.
right, so it's also a
Yeah.
holiday.
Yeah,
No, Christmas Day is on a Monday.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
but if you have it on a Sunday,
Sunday's
It
a
goes-
holiday.
yeah, it goes to the Monday. you
Really?
take off.
My guys
Well, now you get-
say the same thing?
Oh,
Yeah.
You can't have 2 holidays on the
Yeah,
same day,
yeah,
you gotta have an extra day somewhere,
yeah.
you gotta either have Friday or Monday or Tuesday.
It's usually wound up, they would take the Friday and the Monday.
But if a holiday lands on Sunday, it's moved to Monday, so then Mondays it get moved to Tuesday.
Yeah. And I don't know if you care, but if you apply the same logic to the New Year's holiday, then you're taking 2023 holiday in 2024.
Well, then there's,
Oh,
Yeah, you'd be taking New Year's Eve, 2023 as a holiday in 2020.
But you're already taking New Year's Day,
2-day work week.
2024.
I don't know, I said, maybe we can talk about it, executive finance, or?
Yeah.
You guys all in agreement right now?
maybe write a letter to the union.
ask them what they want.
What do you want?
Find out
Yeah.
what they want, I mean, they're getting an extra day somewhere, I guess we just need a consensus with
No,
the.
just when you're taking.
Right.
I like the 2-day work week. I think my guys will like that.
The 2-day work week?
No, everybody-
Well, if we, not permanently, just in between Christmas and New Year. If we go Monday, Tuesday, and then that Friday is, because otherwise we'll have to do the same thing for New Year's. And you're gonna wanna take the, like Joel said, the 2023 holiday in 2023.
We already
Look at
are.
you, you see, why don't you blow the whole week?
I don't work that week every year. It's like one of my predetermined weeks off.
So nothing happens in your office anyway.
No. Well, the courts, not my fault, nothing, the courts are not working either, cause there's no judge on this planet that works that week.
Really?
Yeah.
Does anybody work around here?
You
Oh,
go
we
to
work our
jail
butts
on the
out.
weekend, during
Yeah.
Christmas, you're done
Yeah.
until after the new year.
Yeah, you sit until the-
You're sitting down.
So you go to jail, you go to jail on the 24th, you don't get out until the
There
second.
you are.
You will be arraigned within 48 hours.
Yeah,
For certain
no
statutes.
family disputes over Christmas Eve.
Where that arraignment, where the individual players that are involved in that arraignment are. At that time, I don't know, you might have a judge appearing from Florida, a prosecutor appearing from High Street, and just because I'm not here doesn't mean I'm not working. I just want to point that.
No office hours.
My guys will be okay with whatever you decide.
I think whatever's best for, make a call.
Just make sure if it's a 2-day week, you tell the public it's only two
Yeah.
2 days, a week,
Yeah.
okay? Because we're gonna have a very, very frustrated. Things happen. It would happen this year. This
Yeah.
year would be the year that
That'd be
everybody needed
Courthouse
courthouse.
services.
We got proposed to and I wanna get married the next day, no.
But if it is in black and white in the contract, it is what it is, and we're stick with the contract.
Mhm, yep.
That's the way I feel.
Yep. Oh, yeah, no, yeah,
So that makes it the 2 days.
It pushes that money into the next year, but it is what it is.
You already are to the next.
Cause if it's a
week.
Monday, you.
Right,
They're gonna
but
push
the
that holiday
31st
to
is
the
a
next
paid
year.
day also.
Yeah,
So it'll be Monday, Tuesday.
Sure,
December
there's gotta be
31st,
some
that
way
gets
to-
pushed.
we do the same thing with funeral home. I mean, we pay
And that's
December
all-
bills in January.
Contract?
yeah.
So it's just gonna be paying a December bill in January.
Is that fine to do that on your side?
Yeah.
We retro it back to the previous year.
Right.
Okay, then that's what I suggest.
It's just so people know what day.
Right.
we're sticking
Yeah, whatever the
with Monday,
contract.
Tuesday.
I think that's where the contract stuff.
If the contract reads that way,
Take a poll, see who-
Mhm.
check with the union stewards and decide what, you know.
Yeah.
Make sure everybody's interpretation's the same, so we're not butting heads off.
What's the process of replacing that board of canvassers?
Joel,
I have to pick another.
I think it's all, we don't have to worry about
So
it.
you have to pick these other two now too, not just, so we
Would you
don't have to
pick
go
the
back.
first one?
Or do we have to go back and pick the next two?
David Lemire for the Republicans and they voted for the Democrats.
Yeah, so they'll have to submit 3 new names.
But do they have to come to us now?
No.
Because it's new appointments?
You
It's
only pick
finished
if it's
term.
an expired term.
Is
Perfect.
this,
Good, glad you checked into it.
this chairperson, is she, what is she, a Democrat or Republican or?
She,
Kate Powers.
she was the Democratic chair, yeah, she was, they rotate chairs. So she
Okay.
just wound, she was just currently the chair, and she was resigning, so, but she was the one that wasn't gonna expire until 2025.
So you got a Democrat and a Republican
Correct.
right now, okay.
Yeah.
That's straight.
That's it.
It is all up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look excited about this.
Okay, board comments. You're always first. I'm sorry, I couldn't find you.
I don't have any.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I think we done a hell of a lot here tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of excited about that recreation plan,
Yeah.
that we can go forward with things. And grants are available, we can shove them through.
Money, money, money. Kelly,
I'm good.
And I like sitting by Henry here.
both bald, both, rule.
He's even quiet now, more comments.
What am I saying, both bald?
Yeah, what are you talking about there?
Staff comments.
I put in for a grant with your health foundation, tried to go for the max 2,500, because the life pack that we got the Chatham, well, it ended up being about 2,700. They said they were going with 1,800 because that's what the other AEDs that they had approved before. I guess we have a more expensive one that we were trying to go for. So good news, 1,800, bad news, have to come up with the remaining, which I thought was gonna be a couple hundred, I thought it was gonna be more. About 900.
I think we already did, didn't we?
This would be for the courthouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next one.
On the, yeah, on the main level right there, so executive finance level. That was it?
Robbie,
Nothing to add.
Pam?
I'm just gonna say that MMR and my aide guy happened to come in that same day that we met about the jail.
Okay.
And Joel and I met with them and it sounded like we would be able to do that. So we used the 25,000 per cell, which was the last bid we got.
Right.
So we figured we could do 4 of the cells. That'd be 50,000 for the county and 50,000 with them. But it's not set in stone yet because they still have to submit it.
Better than 100,000 out of their pocket.
Well, at least get 4 of them.
Like I said, we gotta start hammering on that every year to get whatever we can, just piecemeal it.
Yep. So
And that's what this is, and it's do it again the next year too. Yep. So that'll take care of the other 3.
Third department? No.
I know I was at the Rock River board meeting when they announced that they got the AED and they were happier than happy. I think that's gonna be huge out there, you know, for the amount of people they get from the fair and,
Other. Out there, yeah.
you know.
Public comment.
Where is that? Did it come in yet or no?
I don't think they have it yet.
No. But that goes to the fair board.
Yes.
Comments? No? Last one? Adjourn? Consensus?
The opioid thing?
2 hours and 50